Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Lots happening. So we did our first live in 3 years this morning. It was kind of impromptu, as we hadn't done a live in 3 years, and there's new YouTube studio, new OBS models out, and so it was kind of a quick, spontaneous trial run. It was a lot of fun, and everything seemed to work okay.
It did, and thank you everyone who showed up and participated. It was a great time.
Absolutely. And again, we want to invite everybody to join us over on Patreon as well, if you're so inclined. At least twice in a typical week, sometimes 3 times, we put exclusive material up there that you won't find anywhere else. Okay, now for more news. Reports that nuclear radiation has been detected in 2 cities, Tromsø, Norway, and Khabarovsk in Russia. Now, these are 2 areas that are not even close to each other. So that's very, very curious. And in fact, a state of emergency declared in Khabarovsk in Russia. So just to let you know, Moscow is way over here. As you can see, that's Stockholm, Sweden. There's Norway. We're talking thousands and thousands of miles away. Now, what's going on? That's the question. This is where Tromsø is. 2 absolutely separate events, but what's really going on behind the scenes? Now, Kamchatka, this is actually not too far away from where that radiation was detected, over on the Kamchatka Peninsula, in fact, in the same region, the Krai region. Russia appears to have possibly just tested an intercontinental ballistic missile off its eastern coast from the Kura missile test range in the northern Kamchatka Krai region. 2 U.S. Air Force RC-135S Cobra Ball ballistic missile tracking aircraft, as well as the aerial refueling tankers, have also just been launched from Elbendorf Air Force Base in Alaska and are heading southwest towards the launch. Yeah, this is that time now where we really have to watch closely and hang on tight. So you're seeing this is over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula, which is over here. So general vicinity, but not right exactly there. Curious, absolutely curious. If this was after the eclipse, I think I might not be having his normal breathing at this point in time.
I don't know. I mean, everything is going to be really up in the air right now. I think it's a little deliberate.
Oh, absolutely. There's always the loosh factor. There's always the fear-mongering. But it's different this time. It really is different. And those that think, well, nothing's ever going to happen, we don't want to tell you, we told you so, that this is different. We hope that timelines can change. 4 civilians killed, at least 20 more injured in a Russian attack on south-central Ukrainian city of Zaporizhzhia. So what's interesting about that is that's where there's a nuclear power plant that we've been talking about the whole time, too. So, again, I do think they're going to make it look like there's some sort of limited exchange that ends up happening, but they'll really be using different technology. I wouldn't be surprised if whole areas are blocked off and we're told we can no longer go into certain areas. Probably the same thing over in Russia, and possibly other countries as well, but that's going to be part of the big herding process into the smart cities.
I agree. Totally agree.
Meanwhile, the U.S. has stated it won't interfere if Iran attacks Israel. Through a series of messages exchanged via third parties, the United States and Iran have come to an understanding. Iran assured the Americans it will not target U.S. facilities, and in turn, the U.S. says it will not get involved if Iran retaliates against Israel. So, we'll take... As we take everything, we don't believe automatically anything. And obviously, these are all puppets. But this is what they're giving us as how the script is unfolding. And it is just that. It's a script. There's a reason why they call it scripture. Absolutely. Now in Houston, you have officials busting $1 million car theft ring run by Mexican cartels. And I'll tell you, we have seen in neighboring states what we feel is exactly that. Unmarked cars, sometimes one car towing four, right? I think it was one car towing four. We would see it on Saturdays. And
like between like noon and 2 every Saturday at the same time, they had tinted windows. They were just sort of latched onto each other. It didn't really seem like there was a towing mechanism. It's like they were just stuck together.
And there was like no dealer plate in the window,
Yeah, no
nothing
plates.
like that.
And no plates or nothing. It just felt weird. And we saw that one Saturday after the next, after the next, after the next. We just found it really strange. There were no plates anywhere ever. And usually the driver's windows were tinted.
So they nabbed three migrant members of the crew, including one that came in illegally, has a long rap sheet. Again, the people that are in this country right now just waiting for that signal, the starting shot or fire or whatever it is, lightning bolt hitting the Statue of Liberty could not be more symbolic, right? Could it? I mean, this is crazy. So here we go right now at this moment. Let me refresh this just in case, but we are looking at 8 total quakes in this area of New Jersey. After the big one, which they're listing as 4.8, and again on 4.8, we're going to have the eclipse, possibly that comet ship, visible as well. You know, they felt this all the way up to Maine. People from Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and down to Maryland felt this one. And so now you have 7 aftershocks after this. And 5.5 is what I saw Reuters come out with originally. They like to downgrade, of course, and they also like to use their symbolism. So, you know, what can we say about this? It rattled buildings. This is the strongest quake. Again, we were talking about this on the live. You might as well say ever that we know of in the modern day. It goes back before the founding of the U.S. itself. But this is, again, part of the Pluto return of the U.S. in which things get totally remade. And the old passes away as something new is created. And here you have a dam burst in the Russian city of Orsk, where and at least 20 settlements are in danger. And are probably going to end up underwater because of this. They have mass evacuation underway, 4,000 homes being threatened. So it's not just us, and it's both sides, you know, it's NATO and BRICS. Meanwhile, talking about everything being radioactive, Germany detained a ship with Russian uranium. Do you think they're trying to telegraph something? Yes, obviously. As we said, they are going to say there was a limited nuclear exchange, and I don't think it is going to be, again, a nuclear Armageddon Holocaust. But I do think it's going to be significant. If you look to the various prophecies, they all say more people will be lost in a matter of hours than the 2 world wars combined. So that is absolutely significant, and in hours too. This is gonna. So this is where Cindy doesn't get the same stuff, but I think it's because her being an open channel like that, it's something that just doesn't jive with her frequency, and she's not able to really look at that information. But that's why she has me.
That's right. That's why we have each other, you know, because we each have our own blind spots, and that's mine. You know, I've been known to have other blind spots in the past, and this is a blind spot, and I look and I just can't see, you know, but that's part of my higher self, and higher self does that for us for a very good reason. So it's not something that I fight anymore.
No, and for some reason, this has always been what I can see, and what constantly is coming through is all those details. So this is, again, why we're together at this point in time. So German customs detained the ship, the Atlantic Navigator II, which arrived from Russia. It had wood products and uranium on it. Meanwhile, bird flu that infected Texas man, they say, has mutated to spread more easily, the CDC reveals. 3 pet cats die from the virus, and the biggest egg producer in the U.S. is hit with the outbreak. So they also were talking about it coming from the udders. They're obviously, they don't want you drinking raw milk because it could actually heal your gut. It could actually boost your immune system. It could actually give you a lot of nutrition, a lot of bang for the buck. So it's illegal in so many states. And now they have this going on, and so it's not spreading cow to cow because it's concentrated in the udder. Yeah.
Feed us another load of crap.
Speak.
I'm sorry. I'm just, feed us another load. Just one shovel after another. And are people going to continue to take it and take it and take it? No, I see this as a very good reason for them to sell another antiseptic of some kind that's going to get on the cow udder and ultimately give them cancer and probably leak into our food. I mean, rarely is anything on the news ever what they say. Rarely. And it just gets to me sometimes. I'm sorry. I feel bad for the cows.
Absolutely. Have your own local connections and don't count on anything in a store or anything being in a store. So bird flu, it's also been detected, they say, and I'll put they say in there for the rest of everything here until they don't say no more. A dairy herd in Ohio for the first time, also herds in Kansas and New Mexico. They're just taking away the food is what they're doing. They're taking away the food. Yeah, not scary enough. Add another zero. They were saying the bird flu pandemic could be 100 times worse than COVID. Oh, it's going to be 1,000 times worse than COVID. Again, they sell. And yet you already always know what's going to come next. Revealed, the U.S. is collaborating with Chinese scientists to make it more infectious. Yeah, and again, funded with our own tax dollars. This is what they love to do. They love to have us fund our own demise, and we do. That's the sad part of it. This is how this system operates. It totally operates exactly like that. Everybody in the world really needs to unite. We need to get past any and all obvious differences. Yes, you're still going to have those that you're just not going to be able to get certain things across because their indoctrination is not going to be shed very easily. They're still probably using vibration frequency lowering substances as well as just living a life that is so system oriented that you're never going to pull them out of this matrix. So we have to kind of work where we can, warn those that we can, and get us prepared ourselves for all that's coming. Again, we are definitely going to be tried in these times, but for many of us, this is why we are here.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And when stuff gets like this to you, where you get upset like I did, what I do is I take that anger and I channel it into something that's going to benefit me and help me get away from that control system just a little bit further. So anger has its purpose. I don't always think it's a low frequency. I think it can be a very motivating frequency.
Yes, and I wouldn't get in her way when she's angry. This is a very, very gifted psychic and a gifted healer. But then, again, there's the other side of the coin that can be activated when needed. And there's that what you might call righteous anger. And this is where in the Hindu tradition, for instance, you might call on Durga and that divine feminine, divine mother, protective nature to protect you and to protect yours. Hey Ma Durga Jaya Jaya is a very, very simple one, and that's just basically calling on the mother of all, calling on the mother of creation to protect and to give victory to the light against the darkness, as the darkness has so much of the world thinking it's the light.
Source blessing. Namaste.
Namaste.